Every 1,000 years, the gods decide to test humanity by creating a being that emerges from the sands of the earth. This man will create art so beautiful, yet so abhorrent, the masses will scramble in confusion. The only way to defeat this man is to analyze his work, see which art is worthy of love, and which is worthy for destruction. Join us as we take a look at the one, the only, Adam Sandler.
Ho ho ho, it's a jolly time today in the Sandlerverse, because at Sandman Chronicles we have skipped ahead, and we are not doing this one in chronological order because we are talking about 8 Crazy Nights. I think the only Sandler Hanukkah/Christmas thing. Am I correct on that?
Are you saying the only Sandler Hanukkah movie?
Or like just holiday movie that's like Hanukkah Christmas related.
I feel like I'm not the resident Sandler expert here, but
I can't say for sure. Is it the only animated, like mostly animated movie?
Hotel Transylvania.
Is that considered like an actual Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah, I think
would
he
think
helped
so.
write the script.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
You know why? Because it also has David Spade and Kevin James and all
Yeah,
that. So
yeah,
it
okay.
100% counts. But yeah, so this is the Sandler, the Sandman Chronicles. My name is Matt. As always, I'm joined by my co-host,
Allie?
and today we are once again joined by Skate. You may remember Skate from our Hubie Halloween episode.
hello. It is me back for another holiday special.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. And what an amazing movie we got in front of us today. So this is Skate, would you like to describe, I don't know, how should we even introduce this?
Let's talk a little bit about the generic plot first, or what there is of it, I guess.
Yeah. So, 8 Crazy Nights is Adam Sandler's first animated movie. And it's PG-13. So this isn't your mama's Pixar movie or any of that kid shit. This is for adults. And it stars Adam Sandler as an alcoholic named Davy Stone. And he is a dick. And he is, I guess, adopted by... he's going to jail. And then he gets adopted by an old man named Whitey, who, believe it or not, is also voiced by Adam Sandler.
Who could have thunk?
And then he takes Davy Stone to live with him and his sister Eleanor, who, wouldn't you know it, is also voiced by Adam Sandler. So it's a triple feature for him.
I think this movie was the like grandfather of Jack and Jill.
Honestly, I thought I had the same thought when I was watching it.
I did too. And do you know why? Because it's almost as bad.
It fucking sucks, man.
I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off. I fucking hate this movie so much.
It was only an hour and 16 minutes, but it felt like 3.
Exactly! It wasn't even fucking 90 minutes long. I was like, oh my god.
It's a hard one to get through, folks. It is a very hard one to get through. Also, you could have fooled me. I guess I didn't think about it, but you could have fooled me when you said, like, I thought it was more than PG-13, to be honest. And now that I'm thinking back on it, it does exist within PG-13 standards, but you could easily tell me this movie was rated R, and I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like...
It's just kind of like awful. I mean,
Yeah, it's hard to tell who it's for.
That's the thing, because it's like, it wants to be a raunchy, like, hey, look, we're animated and we're a PG-13 movie, but then at the same time, it wants to be like a legitimate holiday movie, where like you're supposed to feel bad for the characters, and like I guess get emotional, and it's just so terrible on like all
Also,
fronts.
I have an answer to who it is for, and it is for Adam Sandler and Adam Sandler alone, man.
Well, that's the weird thing, because like I saw this like back in like middle school or high school, and I just remember thinking back then, oh well, this sucks. Like if it ever came up in conversation, be like, oh yeah, that movie sucks, and then like I would have so many people be like, what are you talking about? This movie's so good. I love Eight Crazy Nights, and like it's got a fan base. I don't fucking know who it is. I don't know what people like about this movie at all. Like I don't get it.
So, like, I was reading up a little bit on it, and, Adam Sandler was like, yeah, just like, there's no, like, Hanukkah holiday special, so I had to make one. And I'm like, so this is the one you choose to make to represent the Jewish peoples, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
The
what I don't get, why wasn't this just like a TV special? Why release this in theaters?
This was
'Cause
released
it's only
in
like
theaters.
Yeah, it was like, hold on, let me look up the budget for this.
Wow.
Because it's like not even an hour long. Or it's like barely like over an hour long. So you could like trim stuff out and you can just put it like as an NBC special or whatever. Yeah, it had a budget of $34 million. It made back $23.8 million. So it bombed hard. Just like a TV
Oh my
special.
God.
At this point, also, 2D animation is on its way out. I don't understand the idea behind it, because apparently this was Adam Sandler's idea. Like he pitched it himself to Sony, because Sony said, no, we don't want to make animated movies right now because we don't want to deal with the hassle. None of us are animators. And Adam Sandler himself convinced them, no, this is a great idea. And so they went ahead and made the movie. But it just seems so like lazy to me, like at least in terms of like writing and voice acting, because I just don't understand why.
does not look good. Like I understand it was supposed to kind of mimic like kind of a shitty holiday special. It looked bad even by those standards, in my opinion.
Would you like to hear something extremely depressing about the animation, Skate?
Yes.
A majority of the animators behind this movie were veterans from Warner Brothers, because they got let go after the Iron Giant bombed.
Oh.
So a lot of the people who worked on this worked on the Iron Giant.
And you can see some of the similarities in style too. Holy
Yeah,
shit,
'cause
that's sad as hell.
because I don't think the animation is bad. I think the character designs are all fine, at least for like the people that are supposed to look normal. I think the actual animation is fine. But again, that's why it kind of comes off like more cynical to me, because if this was just like a regular like shitty Adam Sandler movie, like it wouldn't be good. But like the fact that like people like animation's hard, it takes a long time. The fact that all these people like worked blood, sweat, and tears over this is like, it's sad to me.
They obviously tried, yeah. It's very like slow looking.
Painfully
Once
slow.
Mhm. And it feel like they try to make some people look too normal, and then when they did have like a comedic character, they made it ugly but didn't go extreme enough with it to actually like commit to it. So things just looked mostly horrifying when they had funny in quotations characters like
Yeah.
Whitey and Eleanor and I don't know, a fat guy, or like it was just I don't know, man.
Well, one more thing I want to bring up about the production before we can get into the movie and Skate. I know you're going to be pissed off, but there's a reason I'm bringing him up. I'm bringing up the Nostalgia Critic because
I don't mind.
he made a review of Eight Crazy Nights, and after he posted it, the director of Eight Crazy Nights reached out to him, and he gave him a lot of scoop about the movie. And some interesting tidbits. So the director really, really, really wanted to cut out stuff like the deer eating poop scene, but
Yeah.
it tested really well with test audiences, so they forced him to keep it in. Test audiences said they really hated Whitey's voice, so they tried to pitch it down, but then when they did, test audience said they also hated that, so they just went with the original voice. And then the most interesting thing, and this makes absolutely no sense to me, they did not get permission to use any of the product placement.
Oh.
So all of the horrible, horrible product placement is this movie is like just there because.
Huh. Interesting.
There's two parts within me, right? There's two wolves lying dormant inside me, as one could say. It's because part of me, if I'm being optimistic, I want to say, okay, well, maybe they just think this is funny somehow. I don't get that. Then the cynical part of me says, maybe this is like a testing ground to where they could show companies and be like, hey guys, look at all the products that we put in this movie and look how blatant we could be with them. Why don't you put your ad here next time? Kind of like, those billboards that are like, your ad can go here or whatever.
Yeah, those are interesting facts about 8 Crazy Nights, Matt.
Yeah.
Don't know. Shall we talk about Whitey and the voice acting and just the character in general? Because that was because Whitey, I'm sure we can all agree, is the most egregious part of this movie.
He is, but he is also the only person that made me laugh sometimes.
Exactly.
So I can't say I hate him.
I am glad that it was focused on him and not Adam Sandler's character, because he was just, I mean, I know this was the point, but he was extremely unlikable.
This movie is like Hubie Halloween if Hubie Dubois was the side character and the main character was Ray Liotta. But you're also supposed to feel bad for him. Because the main character, he's such a dick. Like, he's such a piece of shit. Like, you, like, don't laugh with him or at him, like, or at anything he says, because he's just, like, being mean to people. It's not even, like, he's just telling it like it is. He's just being a dick. And, like, the movie makes it a point to be like, hey, you know, his family died, and, you know, he used to be a good kid, and that's the way he is. So, you know, it's actually sad. And it's like, I don't give a shit at all, because he's such a dick.
I was actually surprised. I kind of saw it differently. I was surprised that these people around him were so shocked about how horrible he was when they revealed his background, because I'm like, okay, he's an orphan who's taken from foster home to foster home. Yeah, he's going to be a dick. Like, that doesn't surprise me that he would turn into maybe not the nicest person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think they're also implying everybody else in the town is a dick from the way they treat Whitey.
Yeah.
So it is kind of another Hubie Halloween situation. I don't know. Should we just rip off the Band-Aid and get into the plot, I guess?
Yeah.
Skate, do you want to take us off?
Sure. I will tell the plot to the best of my ability, because I feel like even the plot it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But essentially, you got it's Davy Stone, right?
Yes, Mr. Stone.
It's the first night of Hanukkah. Davy Stone is a drinking at a Chinese restaurant, in which a waiter, the Chinese owner or whatever, comes out, and you're like, why is this sound kind of racist? And then you realize it's Rob Schneider voicing the Chinese restaurant owner. But you know, are we really surprised at this point?
To be fair, some of the better voice acting in the movie.
Oh yeah, this is true though. This is true. So yeah, Hubie, oh my God, Davy, drinks a little bit. It's established he's a drunk. He tries to dine and dash. He tries to drive home drunk, but is stopped by cops. Ultimately, he does not drive home drunk, but he runs away from them. He fucks his car. Um, and ultimately, he destroys some, ice sculpture in the middle of town. And cops arrest him. They bring him to court. Court wants to send him off, but who steps up to the plate to save poor Davy but Whitey, who is a 4'2" goblin of a man, I would like to say. Would you like to take over, Matt? Because this is kind of where it lost me.
Yeah, so for some reason, I guess Whitey used to be the basketball coach back in the day. Do you know what I will say? This movie is a big example of white privilege.
Oh, this is true. This is true.
So the movie's actually a good commentary, much like another Adam Sandler film, Airheads.
Yeah, is it? You
Yeah.
gonna stick with that one?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Okay. So there's the first basketball game. Davy Stone just acts like there's a fat kid who plays and he trips, and then Adam Sandler says, "Hey, you got big tits. Fuck you."
Okay, I don't remember the exact wording of the joke. I did take a couple of notes throughout this. That was one of the only jokes that Adam Sandler says that I laughed at. But I don't know
Really?
why. I don't think it was funny, but there was a comedy to just how unnecessarily mean it was.
I get that.
Yeah.
I noticed that because I take notes when I watch these movies just so I remember what to talk about for the podcast. And I noticed that I really only take a lot of notes for the movies I don't like. And I took about a page and a half of notes for this. The only one of the only times I laughed in the movie is also in this scene, and that's when people throw trash at Adam Sandler, and then Whitey gets so upset by this he has a seizure. It's not even a funny joke. I was just like, oh fuck, they really are going here.
I was gonna say, I still don't understand where do they kind of talk about where the seizures are coming from, or does this old man with the weird club foot just have seizures
I don't think they
sometimes?
ever explained it.
Okay, just making sure.
They gave him every single ailment known to man. And then for the ones they didn't, they gave to the sister, because her having diabetes is 90% of the joke with her.
She has diabetes and she's bald.
And neurotic. Don't forget neurotic.
Of course. And she plays the trumpet.
I think it was the trombone.
The trombone. My apologies. I'm sorry. I guess we haven't even mentioned this yet. The movie's also a musical.
I think the only part of the movie that I think was consistently not bad were the songs. I actually kind of like the songs.
I like 2 or 3 of the songs, because there's the one song at the beginning, and that's when he's getting chased by the cops. I don't even remember what the next song was. Oh, there's a song to set this up, Whitey, the town wherever this takes place every year has the annual All-Star Banquet, and at the annual All-Star Banquet they give a patch to the person who is the best person of the year or something. Is that right?
Yeah, who's just the upstanding citizen of the year, essentially.
Yeah, upstanding citizen. So Adam Sandler and him go to a mall, and then he comes out of the mall, and then he randomly just starts singing about the annual All-Star Banquet. And because he has that voice, it's fucking horrible. And then there's another song where Adam Sandler sings about his lost love. That was probably the only song I really hated. Just because I don't think anyone's singing voice was particularly good. And Adam Sandler has a nice singing voice, because, I don't think his other stuff in this movie is that bad, and he is known for his songs, like, the Thanksgiving song and the Hanukkah song, which this movie is named after. The only songs I liked were the Technical Foul song.
I did like the Technical Foul one.
Because I will admit that song is catchy. And then I liked the Bum Bitty Bitty Bum song at the annual All-Star banquet at the end. That one was pretty good. I think those were the only two.
Yeah, go ahead.
And that kind of is the whole thing of like the identity crisis or whatever, because it's like the songs like aren't particularly like super duper edgy or whatever, but they're also not like kid friendly, so it's like I don't like know what you're trying to do, because they're also not that funny. I'll say that.
Yeah.
That's the whole movie though.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is a good point, Allie.
That is the whole movie.
And what's annoying about it is I really don't think the plot of the movie is that bad. It could have been like I don't know that it ever would have been a great movie, but it could have been fine. Like, it didn't have to be as bad as it was.
Yeah, I know we keep saying we're going to talk about the plot, but we keep getting sidetracked. I think the thing that does bring it from like what could have been like a not so good movie to like a terrible movie are like the main characters. Like Adam Sandler, all of them in this movie are just so unlikable in like every single regard that like they're not even fun to be around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
I think Whitey would have been fine if he wasn't so annoying.
And ugly.
Yeah.
No offense, but he's bad to look at in this movie. And not in just like a regular cartoon ugly character way.
Well, Whitey's whole purpose in the movie is that he is annoying and that he's a loser. But you're supposed to kind of like, be like, oh, okay, he's like the grandpa of the town. But they make such a point to show how big of a loser he is. He kind of just comes off like really pathetic. Like there's a part where he's like singing "The Only Time I Had Sex Was on the Phone" or whatever, and I'm just like, ew. Like it's not charming. It's creepy.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I absolutely agree. Also, we've mentioned that the voice acting is bad. It is bad not only in a way that it is grating, but also in a way that I cannot tell. Like, I listen to these characters and I just hear Adam Sandler in all of them. Were you having that issue too?
I got used to Whitey. I will say I thought he did a good job with Eleanor. Like, I'll be honest. I didn't really hear Adam Sandler in her at all.
That's good.
Yeah, me too.
So, I will say he did a good job with Eleanor, at least.
Yeah, I just, I would listen to Whitey, and it was literally so bad that I could, picture Adam Sandler in the voice recording booth, screaming into the phone. I was screaming into the microphone in, a high-pitched voice.
Exactly. Maybe if the movie was a tiny bit funnier, it wouldn't be that big of a problem, but to kind of, I guess, get back to the plot, speaking of bad voice acting, while he's in the mall, he runs into, so he has a love interest in this movie, who is a girl that he used to play Little League youth basketball with back in the day, who's now grown up. She has a kid. Her husband's away. Very convenient. She hates him now because he's a dick. That woman, the love interest, is actually voiced by Adam Sandler's wife, Jackie Sandler. And she, as a voice actor, is horrible. It literally sounds like she's, reading her lines like you would, be, reading something off your phone or whatever. It was just so bad.
Yeah, she very much had, I don't want to shit on her too much. I don't know. It all seems a bit self-indulgent, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounded like typical, I'm a celebrity and I'm going to do voice acting, but I don't really know how to do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
That was... God, I don't even want to talk about it. But
it's just, kind of it's just depressing how bad it is. It's
I don't even remember what happens after that. Okay, so cut to
court date, adopted.
He drops off. So Whitey drops him off at his trailer park, and then he gets stuck in the snow. His engine dies or something, and then Adam Sandler's like, haha, or main Adam Sandler, Davy Stone. Davy Stone is like, haha, you're a loser, and he doesn't help him. And then because Whitey is so magical and so lovable, there's a bunch of random deer that are next to him, and they, help him get out of the snow. A very whimsical moment in this adult PG-13 comedy, supposedly. Then there's not really a plot. I think I'm just now noticing that.
There really isn't, though.
Because then it cuts to Whitey putting up trees, and then there's these guys making fun of him, and then Adam Sandler is washing out porta potties for some reason, and then Whitey goes to the bathroom in one, and then Davy Stone is mad at him.
I think it's the other way around, but go ahead.
I don't know.
I think Stone is taking a shit, and then the guys are like, "Oh, Whitey, we'll pay you $1 if you go and clean them." So that's where they meet, and somehow they get into some sort of altercation, and Stone locks Whitey in the porta potty and pushes him down the hill, right?
Yeah, on purpose, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not an accident thing.
Because he's a fucking asshole.
He's a piece of shit. And then, if that's not enough, when Whitey comes out covered in shit, Davy Stone freezes him by spraying water on him and leaves him out there all night. And, I guess that's supposed to be funny, but it's just, mean and cruel. So I didn't, that's the only time I kind of felt bad for Whitey, because it's just I don't know. But
also,
anyway,
they really over animated the poop as well.
It's I noticed that.
Yeah, a lot of love was put into that guy.
It was so much. There was more man hours in that shit than I think anywhere else in the movie, which was bizarre to me. But go on.
Mm-hmm. But very, very unlikable thing to do. I can complain about that all day, but whatever. Then the magical deer come back, and they look Whitey from the snow, and then a reindeer looks at the camera and smiles, and his teeth are covered in poop. And guys, wasn't that so funny?
So funny.
Which at this point, because the judge makes it clear, if I see you get into trouble one more time, you're going straight to the slammer. I don't know why Whitey doesn't report him after this, because that seems like a pretty big thing to do. That's not just being a dick, that's assault. I guess. And then they go to a basketball game that they're not coaching, they're just watching one that other people are playing. And then, for some reason, the son of the love interest is there, and then Davy Stone's like, I could take these guys, and then the people that are playing are like, oh yeah, I'd like to see that. And then they challenge him to a 2v2 basketball game, which Adam Sandler wins. And then, I like to say, I love how Adam Sandler makes sure the character based off him was jacked when he took off his shirt.
I noticed that as well. I saw that.
This is also a guy who the movie has made clear has been getting super drunk every single day for all of his life. So he looks pretty good.
He's a lazy drunk, but he's ripped.
Yeah, he's pretty cut. Then he goes to his trailer, and they burned down the guy who he versed basketball with. Somehow knows where he lives, and got so mad that he burned down his trailer. And instead of reporting it to the cops, because they both clearly saw who did it, he's just like, okay, I'm gonna go live with Whitey and his sister. And then Allie, it's your turn.
Oh God.
It's such a
We're just
burden,
gonna do
isn't
tag
it? It's just
team.
a
It
burden
is.
talking about this movie.
It
This is a
is
lot less
so-
fun than I thought it would be to talk about.
I really there are a couple things I wanted to say, but I'm just now realizing like how much I hate it.
Yeah.
So if I am correct, after that, Davy moves in with Whitey. What is the sister's name?
Eleanor.
Eleanor. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
And they do a big song about the rules of the house, which actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah, the technical foul song. I will say
technical foul song.
the only other time I laughed was in that song because there's like he's like saying rules or whatever. I keep wanting to call him Adam Sandler, but there's like 3 Adam Sandlers in the same room, so that makes it hard. But there's a part where Davy Stone is like, what if I give Eleanor candy? And then Whitey's like, that's not a technical foul, but possibly a homicide. That made me laugh.
I didn't laugh at that.
That's fine.
Oh God,
Anyway,
what,
continue.
what is the immediate aftermath of that? Did they just go straight to the like ceremony, or?
No. So
I don't know.
I can take it up if you want me to.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been talking so much. I want to make sure other people get a chance.
Yeah.
But...
Okay, wait. So I'll take it up. So they have like a montage and he's there and he's enjoying himself and he's finally starting to open up. Sorry, Davy, this is. Finally starting to open up and show a little kindness. And then he votes for Whitey. And then directly after he votes for Whitey, he gets into like a fight with Whitey and Eleanor where he's like, and this is definitely like the least mean thing he does to him all movie, but he's like, you're stupid for caring about the badge. Is it the badge?
It's the patch.
The patch. You're stupid for caring about the patch and you'll never get it because people think you're a joke. And Whitey's like, you've crossed the line, man, and
I was
get out of
that
here.
Too.
It was like
this is like
definitely
objectively, yeah.
It's definitely not the worst thing he did to him all movie, but he does that, and so Whitey kicks him out, and Davy's like, "Fine, I'll go my own way." And I think he just tries to like leave town straight from there. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, so I'm wrong.
One thing I will say about that scene is so like Whitey is the reason Davy Stone goes off on Whitey is because Whitey is telling a story about how he won like the youth basketball game one time, and then Whitey is like, yeah, that was the day his parents died, and then Davy Stone multiple times it's like, hey, can we please not talk about this right now?
Yeah, they were being such dicks about it.
Yeah, and then Whitey is like, no, it's good to listen or whatever. And it's like, it's the only time he ever did something that was kind of dickish. That I was like, yeah, I get it. Like that was they were in the wrong. So even like the pivotal, like, man, Davey, you went too far, is not even that bad, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we talk about the mall scene? The weird drunken mall scene?
You can set that up. Sure.
Allie, why don't you set it up?
I would rather not. I feel like I blocked some of this out. I literally just watched it like an hour ago. My brain does not want to remember this.
Oh, that's mighty unfortunate. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Okay. I don't want to talk about the mall scene. Fine. I'll do it. So earlier in the movie, Adam Sandler and Whitey they're both Adam Sandler. Fuck ever. They're going into the mall, and Whitey, inexplicably goes on this like he goes on a speech about how much he loves the mall, and he talks about, oh, I love Dunkin' Donut, and I love Spencer's Gifts, and I love GameStop, and I love KB Toy, and he just starts listing stores. And like he's like, I can get all my favorite electronics from Radio Shack. Like this is this is word for word like stuff he says. Like he's basically given mini advertisements for all of these different companies. And so later in the movie, when Adam Sandler gets drunk and breaks into a bank or the mall, all of these mascots of these different stores come to life. Mm-hmm. So the Foot Locker guy comes to life. The GNC can of like muscle weight powder comes to life.
Yeah, like some Victoria's Secret lingerie.
The Victoria's Secret lingerie that was voiced by Tyra Banks.
Why?
Yeah.
Was that necessary?
Funny.
Jesus
and then
Christ.
The KB Toys logos, which are
who were voiced by Zach and Cody.
They come alive and they sing a song. Yeah, they just tell Adam Sandler to nut up and cry, and then he does. Or no, he opens the whatever. I'm over it. What happens after the mall scene? Skate, take it away.
So he obviously broke and enter into the mall, so he gets arrested. But he once again, like every time he gets arrested in this movie, just like leaves. He just, maneuvers his way out of the situation, like the clever little drunk he is. And he hops on a bus out of town. So he's hopping on this bus as the big town banquet where they announce all the awards is going on. So you're seeing, shots back and forth of everyone getting in their fancy clothes and getting ready and going to the banquet. And, Davey's getting out of town. And then he's on the bus and it breaks down like directly in front of the big lodge where the banquet is happening. And Davey has this come to Jesus moment. He's like, I need to go make amends with some people. And then the bus driver's like, okay.
Not a come to Jesus moment. He's Jewish.
Oh, okay, sorry.
He don't believe in that shit.
I come to whatever.
A prophet Abraham moment.
Yeah, like whatever. I don't, it's when I say I don't care, I'm not saying I don't care about the Jewish people. I'm just saying.
Really? I thought that's what she meant.
I just don't give a shit about this movie or anything it has to say. Anyway,
sorry.
He gets out of the
Richard
bus.
Spencer.
Yeah, he gets out of the bus. He has to use the poopy deer to distract the cops from finding him. And he looks in through the window as they announce that a character we have never seen or met before won the patch for the best dude in town. And we see Whitey get irrationally kind of mad at it. Like he's obviously allowed to be sad, but he did it in kind of a dickish way, if I remember correctly. He like yelled at people and was like, "As you don't care about me," or whatever he said. I don't know. It seemed a little out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So he and Eleanor leave. Eleanor, his ever supportive sister, and then Davey walks in. And the mayor is like, "What are you doing here?" And the cops are like, "You're supposed to be arrested." And Davey's like, "Listen here, folks. You are too mean to Whitey. You need to be nicer to Whitey and give him the award because he's super selfless and deserves it, and everyone else here is an asshole." Would anyone else like to take over? This is exhausting.
Allie hasn't spoken once. I think it's her turn.
Well, all the characters end up telling stories about how horrible they were to Whitey, just throughout his whole life. Um, and then they break into song, if I'm correct.
They do. They
That's
do
the
indeed.
bum. That's the bum bitty bitty bum song.
Yeah, they do the little bum bitty bitty bum song. Um, and oh, did you mention Davy crying?
Yeah, I said he cried.
Yeah,
It's a
he
big thing
cries.
throughout the movie that, like, oh, Dave, you need to cry, you need to cry. And then at the mall, he finally cries, and I guess he's a better person now. Whatever.
Yeah, he has to deal with his emotions, and he cries, and it makes everyone realize he's being serious. They do their little musical number, cut to Whitey and Eleanor. Whitey's upset, so they decide to go to the mall because the mall makes Whitey happy.
Mm-hmm.
They get there, and I don't know what they're talking about. Is he praying? What is he doing?
I'm
He's
not sure.
praying to the food mascots, I think, is what they're
Yeah.
implying. Because the food mascots are seen crying. So that it
Oh,
is
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like, the magic of Hanukkah is bringing them to life. It's like Food Fight.
Yeah. And he's talking to the mascots and saying, maybe I should just move to Florida. Maybe that would be better. Nobody knows me there, so at least they would have a reason for ignoring me or not acknowledging that I exist. And then out comes Davy, who gives him a pep talk, basically. And everybody comes into the room to the food court. They're upstairs. And what do? They like cheer for him, sing for him, and they award him the patch.
Not just
And
the patch.
happily,
They
not
award him all of the patches.
all of the
'Cause-
patches, and then it's happily ever after.
And he has a seizure.
A seizure from how happy he is.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
good seizure.
It's
Hey, this movie sucks, but
yeah. One last thing I want to point out in that scene, even though this is supposed to be Whitey's big moment, and like, you know, oh my goodness, Whitey is finally getting everything he wants. So Davy Stone hugs him, and he's like, "You're like the father I never had." And then Whitey says, "If me and my imaginary wife had a son, it would be you." And I just like how in this moment where it's supposed to be the happiest moment of his life, they still have to point out what a loser he is, like till the very end. And then the movie just kind of Adam Davy Stone somehow gets with the girl. They hold hands and they're a couple. And I guess he doesn't go to jail. And then the movie's over.
I don't know.
I don't even think the
know.
movie bothered to. Oh my god, this sucked.
Indeed.
Like, every moment it tried to be legitimately sentimental. Like, it would be like this really fucking stupid fart joke or sex joke, and then it would be like, you know, back then you were such a good little boy, and oh, the tragedy, it was so horrible. And it's just like, every time that happened, I was just like, are you for real? Like, are you being serious right now? Like, this isn't a joke? Like, I was shocked.
I've seen some pretty confused, like tonally confused movies in my day. This is up there. This may not be the most confused, like just all over the place tonally movie I've ever seen, but it is definitely up there.
I'm just so confused why it was animated. Because they don't even really take advantage of it.
No, they don't. They honestly don't. I don't get it. Is it trying to be a family-friendly Christmas special? Is it trying to be it's so crude. Crude is like the first word I think of when I see it. And like not in a fun way. I love a good doo-doo poo-poo fart sex joke.
Yeah.
I also love, you know, insult humor. This was just like it's just not funny.
I'm just gonna say, and this can apply to any movie we watch for the most part, any Adam Sandler movie. To be fair, I don't think that it was meant to be dissected this much. I really don't think you're supposed to think about it like at all.
I think
So
you're
if we
supposed to laugh, though, to be fair.
to be fair, but if we're looking for like substance, there is none.
I don't want substance. I just want to know, like, who is this for? Because it does try to make you feel bad at some points, like, legitimately. And I'm just like, I don't get why. Because it's not even, like, making fun of animated Christmas specials that much. It doesn't try to be, like, over the top, like, raunchy or whatever. It's just kind of a mess.
Yeah. A mess is a good way to put it.
Or I guess, does anyone have final thoughts to say about 8 Crazy Nights?
This has been a very depressing episode. I feel like I thought this was going to be more fun to talk about than it actually was.
Yeah, me too. Maybe just because we've all had really shitty weeks.
Maybe so.
This isn't even, yeah, because it's not even like a bad, it's not a fun bad movie.
It's just a movie. It's just a movie.
Yeah. Allie, do you have any final thoughts?
Don't waste your time.
Damn. A glowing recommendation.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. All right. So why don't we all rate 8 Crazy Nights, and then we can put our aggregate together.
Okay.
Skate, you go first.
I'm going to go the lowest we can and give it a... Actually, never mind. Lowest seems like a stretch. Let's give it... I'm going to give it 2... trying to think of something from the movie that is actually funny to talk about. 2 poop icicles out of 10 poop icicles.
I think that's a pretty good rating, actually. I will give it a 2 out of 10 as well.
I am also giving it a 2 out of 10.
Wow.
Is this the first time we've ever been unanimous in a rating before?
I think so. I also think it's the lowest rating.
No, Going Overboard is still worse.
Wait, really? What did y'all give that one?
That's a 1.
You gave Going Overboard a 1?
I'd give it, yeah. Thinking about it, I honestly kind of still want to give it like a 0.5 or something. But no, Going Overboard is still worse than this. Although not by much, I'll say that.
That's good. That is very good. Like, I would honestly probably, like, going into this conversation, give 8 Crazy Nights, like, at least a 2.5 or 3. But talking about it has just, like, depressed me to the point of dropping the score.
Yeah. Because, like, I get it. Like, Adam Sandler movies, not really meant to be dissected, but most of them are at least fun to dissect.
Exactly.
This is not fun to It's not fun to watch, and it's not fun to talk about.
But you'd honestly think it would be. You think it would be. There's so much material to work with.
Yeah.
But
like
when you get back down to brass tacks, there's, like, nothing at all. I don't know, man. That was weird.
The only interesting thing about it, the only unique thing about it, is that it's an adult animated comedy that you don't see that very much. That is it. And it's probably the only 2D adult animated comedy I can think of that's not South Park. That was in theaters, I should say. Because, like, even then, like, South Park and Family Guy were doing way edgier shit on TV than anything in this movie.
Yeah. But it feels less like... And maybe it feels less offensive when South Park or Family Guy do it because it's sometimes funny, which is more than this movie can say. But, like, just, like, it was just, like, unnecessary how the crudeness to unfunniness ratio was, like, 1-1. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even fucking mention one of the worst parts about the movie was the Rob Schneider narration.
Was that the worst part?
I really hated, well, I don't like Rob Schneider, but hearing the whole, like, ha ha ha, watch out, Davey, you know what's coming to you. I was like, oh my god. Like, don't give me this cheesy bullshit. But before we go, I found something interesting that I think is both better and worse than this entire movie. I'm going to share my screen quickly. I'll include the audio in the actual episode, but if you're watching on YouTube, I will include the video as well. Play.
Yo, if you had just one night, or maybe eight, to ruin the holidays, to poop all over the season, would you be naughty or would you be nice? Oh, shut up! You better get ready for this movie, the madness, the mayhem, the boobies, the porta potty roll. You only get one shot to see it, believe it. November 27th, get ready to go.
8 crazy nights.
Every night's a chance to change your underpants.
What the hell was that? Rated PG-13.
Hey, what the hell? I did like just the single screenshot, around 6 seconds where it just says poop.
Wait, does it?
Yes.
Hold up.
All over the season.
Jesus Christ. I didn't even notice that.
You know, I really think, like, the promos are a lost art, though. You know
They
what I mean?
are.
They really are. They need some better promos up in here.
Mm-hmm. They need better promos, and they need better bumpers for commercials.
Absolutely, this is true. This has been an incredibly depressing episode, Matt.
This is probably our worst episode.
Fuck you too for making me watch this.
To be fair,
That
it was my
includes-
fault because I decided to skip ahead, so I'll take the blame.
Okay. I mean, I did agree to it because I thought Eight Crazy Nights would be a very funny bad movie, but I was sorely mistaken.
I thought I could have. I guess I have a Mandela effect because I 100% thought you said you saw it before and you liked it, but maybe I'm
This is
thinking of somebody else.
Might be. Also,
I'm
might have just
sorry.
lied. Sometimes I just do that.
That's
You
that's
were like,
true.
yeah, have you seen Eight Crazy Nights? I'm like, yeah, sure. I love that movie.
That also sounds right.
It's really, I could not tell you.
I have nothing witty to say to end this episode, so I think
I
we should
don't-
just end it.
I think you should do a sick Whitey impression.
That's a technical foul.
That was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you give me a good Eleanor?
I don't remember what she sounds like. Give me something. She's like, oh, they took my wig. Is that it?
That just sounds like Lois Griffin.
Peter!
Peter,
you
you ruined
took-
the holidays.
They took my wig, Peter.
Ah, shut up.
I've got diabetes. Or we can, I feel like it's kind of leaning into Marge a bit too.
Yeah, any of those.
Ow!
How much?
They took my Audrey Hepburn wig.
Hey, caramba.
Okay, can we end?
I'm gonna have the music fade out while we're doing this.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
By the time I upload this, Hanukkah will be over. Bye.
Bye. God, that sucked.